You can? It's so windy. It's a perfect day for flying kites. Oh, and you're making a kite now? Cool. Oh, wait, you can. You're gonna lose your hat. Oh boy, there it goes.
Ucan wants you to use multiplication and division to solve word problems involving measurement.
You can. I'm so glad you found your hat. It was all the way down the beach. So what are you working on now? A kite, and you're making a tail for your kite. It's a long one. How long is it? You're not sure, huh? So you added 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of rope together. You know the number of groups. You had 4 pieces. And you know the number of items in each group. Each piece is 6 inches long. What you need to find out is how long the tail of your kite is all together. Well, that sounds like a multiplication problem. You've got 4 groups of 6 equaling something. Or 4 times 6 equals something. Guess what? I can count by 6s. 6, 12, 18, 24. Your tail is 24 inches.
So Ucan, you're going to need 4 pieces of rope to make a really long tail for your kite. What do you know? You know the number of groups. You know that you need 4 pieces to make that long tail. You also know the number of items in each group. You know that there'll be 6 inches in each of your 4 pieces of rope. And what do you want to find out? The total number of items. Whoa. If you know the number of groups and the number of items in each group, but you don't know the total number of items, guess what? You need to multiply. You know that you've got 4 groups of 6, and that's going to give you some length. You're not sure what. Measurement problems are perfect for the bar model. I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. I'm going to cut that rectangle in half the long way. And then down below, I'm going to break this second rectangle into fourths. Cut it in half once, and then in half again. I know that in each one of these groups, each of these is 6 inches long. 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. This is 6 inches plus 6 inches plus 6 inches plus 6 inches. 6 plus 6 is 12. Another 6 plus 6 is another 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. So I think this whole thing must be 24 inches. I think that 4 groups of 6 is 24 inches. So your kite tail is going to be 24 inches long. Wow.
Ucan, that kite was so beautiful flying in the sky. What are you working on now? Oh, you've got some friends coming to fly kites with you. 4 friends with 4 kites. And you've got a rope that's 24 inches long. You've got to break or divide that rope into 4 groups so that each of your friends has a kite tail. So you know the number of groups. You've got 4 kites, and you'll need 4 kite tails. And you know the total number of items. You've got a rope that's 24 inches long. What you don't know is how long each one of those kite tails is going to be. So let's do a guessing check. Could each one be 5 inches long? 5, 10, 15, 20. That's too short. Can't be 5. Huh. So should we try another number? Let's try 7. A little bit bigger. So if I put 7 there, that'd be 7, 14, 21, 28. No, that's too big. Let's try a number right in between. Do you think I ought to try 6? Maybe each piece will be 6 inches long. Let's try it out. 6, 12, 18, 24. That's it. Yes. So if I were to divide 24 inches into 4 groups, each of those groups would be 6 inches long. I can think of it like this. 4 groups of something is 24, or 4 times something equals 24. Another way to think of it is 24 divided by 4 equals something. And I guessed and checked and found out that was 6.
This time, Ucan knows the total number of items. He knows he has a rope that's 24 inches long. He also knows the number of groups. He knows he's got 4 friends, so he needs to break that 24-inch long rope into 4 equal groups. What he wants to find out is the number of items in each group. If you need to know or find out the number of items in each group, you know you're going to divide every single time. So let's go ahead and write it down as a division equation. We know that it's going to be 24 divided by those 4 friends that we need to break that 24-inch rope into equals something. Another way I could write it is as a multiplication problem. Or we could write it as 4 groups of something gives us 24. And remember, there's one last way to write this. Or we could write it as 24 divided by 4. Let's go ahead and draw a picture. This time, when I do my bar model, guess what I do know? I know the total number of items up here. And I know how many groups. I know there's 4. So I just have to think to myself, what plus what plus what plus what is going to give me that total number of items, 24. Before I guessed, I started with 5 first and realized that 5, 10, 15, 20 wasn't big enough. Then I tried 7s. 7, 14, 21, 28. That's too big. So I discovered that 6 was just right. 6, 12, 18, 24. 4 groups of 6 makes 24. So if I were to break this 24-inch rope into 4 pieces, each one would be 6 inches long. I'm going to go ahead and write the answer right there.
You can. Those kites were so beautiful. But you're working on something else now. More kites? You've got some more rope. You've got 24 more inches of rope. And you know that each kite tail needs to be 6 inches long. So now you're wondering how many more kite tails you can make with those 24 inches. This is a pencil problem, so let's give it a try on our own. First, you're going to think about what you know and what you don't know. Then you're going to write an equation. Don't forget to draw a picture and write that answer. Okay, good luck.
So this was a pencil problem. So let's check your work. I'm hoping that you knew the total number of items. Ucan has a 24-inch rope. And I'm hoping that you also knew the number of items in each group. You know that each piece he has to cut from this 24-inch rope is going to be 6 inches long. What you're trying to find out is the number of groups. Guess what? If you don't know the number of groups, but you do know the total number of items, it will always be a division problem every single time. Let's go ahead and write down our equation. Did your division equation look like this? 24 divided into groups of 6 equals something. Or maybe you wrote a multiplication equation. It might look like this. Sum groups of 6 equals 24. Or maybe you even did the fancy smancy division. 24 divided by 6 equals something. And then perhaps you experimented with a bar model. You knew the total number of items. This whole thing is 24 inches. However, this time, because you didn't know the number of groups, you couldn't break it up into groups right away. You had to think about it a little bit and make some guesses. Maybe you knew this was about 6. And so maybe you guessed that was about 6 inches. Then you guessed that was another 6. Then you guessed that was another 6. And you realized you could fit in another 6. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 24. So you could see that you could put 6 into 24 4 times. There you go. There's your bar model. So you can see that you have 4 kite tails that you can make from your 24-inch rope if each of your kite tails is 6 inches long. Nice job, guys. Time to reflect, guys. Hey, you know what Ucan noticed, and I did too, we were just talking about this, is that it's pretty easy to tell if you're doing a multiplication problem or a division problem. And the way you can tell is by looking at what you want to find out. So we knew that we wanted to find out the number of items in each group for this one. And if we need to find out the number of items in each group, it has to be division. And if we know we need to find out the number of groups, then it has to be division. And guess what, guys? If we're looking for that big number, that total number of items, every time it's going to be a multiplication problem. So maybe that could be your aha. Maybe you're really excited that it's going to be super easy to answer these word problems because all you need to do is think about what you know and what you don't. And it'll help you decide what you need to do. Okay, thanks guys.